Okay, students, we are welcome to another lecture session, whereby we start with the transition metal elements. The first member we are going to deal with is copper. If you remember what I said in my first lecture when I was defining metals, I said metals can be found in group 1, group 2, and some of them can be found in group 3, and then we have the transition metals. So they are called transition because they normally have variable oxidation states, and they have partially filled d orbital. They have their own peculiar properties, and they normally form colored complexes because of that nature they have. So these are the peculiar properties of transition metals or elements. So here we are going to talk about copper, though sometimes scientists, chemists, they decide to say copper and zinc should not be classified as, despite meeting some of the requirements, some of the properties of transition metal. But some scientists, some chemists believe copper and zinc should not be properly classified as a transition metal because they don't have partially filled d orbital. They have completely filled d orbitals. So we are going to talk about copper. It's not really time to deviate on that. Copper is a transition metal. It is also second to iron in terms of diversity in application. Copper is used anywhere, second to iron. Apart from iron, the next element that is quite significant in application is copper. Copper deposits are mainly found in Chile, that is in South America, in Zambia here in South Africa, and in the DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. So these are the countries that have large deposits of copper. Democratic Republic of Congo, which is in Central Africa here, Zambia, which is in Southern Africa, and then Chile, which is in Latin America. The common ore of copper is this, called chalcocite. That is copper 1 sulfide. This is the common ore of copper. It has the highest grade of copper. Approximately 80% of this ore contains copper. So this is the common ore of copper. Are you following? This is the ore. It normally exists in this ore, which is copper 1 sulfide. But the commercial name or the common name is this. Then now we are going to see the extraction, just like other previous method we have been discussing. I would like briefly to discuss on how we get the pure copper from the ore. First of all, there is a pre-treatment, as usual, like any other ore. Because as I have said, the ore normally they come in a large lump. Sometimes you have to expose it to, subject it to pre-treatment process. You grind it, you make it to finer size particles before you take it to the real extraction process. So after the pre-treatment, you now mix the ore with different reagents and form a solution. You now mix the ore with other reagents, a lot of reagents, and form a solution with proper agitation. Let me make it itemize it. It will be much easier for you to understand. If you say you have your ore like this, you take the ore, that is the copper. If you say you are dealing with this ore, treat it with a lot of reagents. With agitation, proper agitation, serious agitation, it forms a solution. Then the unwanted material, the unwanted rocky material, we call it gangue. Settles at the bottom. Settles at the bottom. Bottom of the vessel. While as a result of the agitation, a froth is formed. It's formed. Containing the copper. Containing the copper. You know what the froth by the time you are agitating. And you apply this more than 2 times, like 3 to 4 times. Do the agitation, get the froth separated again, agitate it again, continuously, up to the level when you are making sure all the gangue, all the rocky materials are completely separated from the copper ore. Are you following? You do this process, you do it 3 to 4 times, times 3 to 4, to make sure all the rocky materials, all the gangue are completely separated from the copper 2 sulfide. So by the time you are here, the next step is you apply the roasting process. The roasting process, roasting. I've told you the roasting, not the roasted meat, the roasting. Not like the roasting of meat or the roasting of fish. This is roasting in chemistry, whereby you treat something with oxygen at high temperature. So the roasting happens. So can I clean here? Or you are still there? This is your all your reagents, agitation, you form a solution. Then unwanted rocky material, which is the gangue, it will settle at the bottom of the vessel. Then you apply the whole thing. After the froth formation, which copper is trapped there in the froth, you apply the whole procedure over and over again to make sure you have a total separation of the unwanted. So students, here we come to the end of the last session of the lessons. I will summarily say what we have done. The main topic is metals and their compounds. We define what metals are, how we can locate them in the periodic table, their general properties, their relative abundance in the earth crust. Then we took some representative from some of the groups. We took the group 1 sodium, we took calcium in group 2, we took aluminum in group 3, tin, and then we took copper from transition metals. So I expect you to go and read over and over, use your textbooks to read the electrochemical series, the behavior of metals, their reactions, their properties, their uses, their chemical reactions, their physical properties, and so on. So I wish you all the best. It's my pleasure to have you here. I wish you all the best. Bye-bye.